Welcome to the We're Not Friends podcast. Dive into the art, the hustle, and the absurdities of the dance world. I'm your co-host, Tanisha DeSalvo.
And I'm Michael Falcucci. We're here for honest conversation about the dance industry, from home studios to dance competitions to the professional paying gigs.
We're shining a light on the people shaping the industry, celebrating creative voices and the stories that often go unheard.
Whether you're a dancer, parent, creative professional, or simply curious about the industry, we're glad you're here.
So let's get into it. And to answer your question, no, we're still not friends.
Welcome to episode 5 of the We're Not Friends podcast. We have Brandon here. Actually, how do we say your last name properly? Let's.
Do we have to say the last name?
We don't have to. Everyone, you can just.
But if it's okay.
I think I need to start going by my middle name.
Okay.
First and middle. No, I can't just start that here.
Why not?
It's not the debut.
Why? Yeah. Why not? We could do it.
I think it should be the debut.
Why can't
Debut?
you?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna change my Instagram handle.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah.
It's wild.
Well,
Croisetiere.
Okay. I'm not even gonna try.
No,
But
you don't
that
have
was
to.
no. Okay.
Bring
really
it.
luxurious.
Yes.
Again.
Croisetiere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just.
It's
I call you B. You
B,
know.
Brandon,
Yeah.
B dog.
We're so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
One of the best in the game.
Okay.
Definitely.
I would
100%.
say so.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Choreography Award at the Dance Awards.
Yes.
Like that's pretty major.
Huge.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Ottawa native.
Ottawa native.
Very.
Absolutely.
You're still very proud of being from Ottawa, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're on the new podcast.
I'm on the new great podcast.
Exactly.
What more can I ask
we're
for?
super happy that you're here. So we kind of start off usually asking like how you got into dance. And that's usually the first question we ask.
Okay. Well, I was always very into music, loved music. My parents would blast music at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. And I don't know, I felt like music was always instilled in me. And my mom would always catch me moving around the house, kind of dancing about. And it wasn't until my parents got separated where my mom was like, okay, I feel like I need to put you into something. And so she signed me up for a class because she'd been saying for years, do you want to do karate? Do you want to do soccer? What kind of thing do you want to do? And I was never interested in any of that. My brother did a bunch of different things, and I never felt like what was being offered to me was my kind of niche. And then, yeah, my parents got separated, and my mom was like, okay, now's the time. Let's put you into a dance class. And I still remember first dance class, hip hop combo, Get Ready by Sean Desmond.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Started with a little 4 little bounces.
Of course.
And I literally went home that night and it was doing it in my yard over and over again. And I was I just love to dance.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it was
Where was
history
that?
from there.
What studio was it?
Studio de Danse Danielle.
Nice.
In Elmer. So that was hometown studio, really close by because we're from Gatineau, from Elmer.
Nice.
And yeah, that was my first year was just hip hop,
Right.
rec hip hop. Got offered to be on the competitive team the year after. That went into hip hop and tap, and then from there the
Tap.
jazz.
Oh,
yeah, tap was my
I got to see this.
tap was my second style. Yeah,
Hip hop too. I mean,
hip hop was number 1,
and then tap.
and then tap.
And now you're like a contemporary genius.
And now contempt is my vibe for sure.
Well, I
It was
mean,
always-
you're a choreographer of all styles, but I mean, choreography in contempt is, yeah, that's amazing.
yeah.
That's cool. And so now you're a professional. I mean, choreographer, dancer, and how did you get there from the studio world or
Relationships.
relationships?
Relationships was huge for me. I had a teacher that taught me at Danielle's, and she had told me, if ever I decide to open up a studio one day, I want you to be one of my teachers. I want you to teach for me. I want you to choreograph for me. And it was through summer classes too. I had some friends that were still dancing, and they had recommended me to their teachers. And so I had a lot of ins. I don't want to say by coincidence, but again, just by relationships,
Right.
Either friendships or other teachers and stuff like that. And I was very, very fortunate to start teaching and choreographing at a young age. And from there, I feel like everything just started to slowly build just
Right.
upon that.
Was there one person in particular that kind of kick-started that, or that you could say maybe that would have went a different way? Or
I mean, I feel like Callie for sure, like she gave me a lot of opportunity from the beginning.
Nice.
And she was kind of the first person to be like, I believe in you. I believe you can create really good work and work with my kids. And essentially that opened up all these doors for me to really start to find myself as a teacher and find myself as an artist and choreographer. And so I would say she was kind of my first person to open that door for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now we find that we see more of your work in contemporary and that sort of genre.
Yes.
What led you to that path?
Especially from tap and hip hop. So
Right.
that's like...
Literally, my first thought is there was a new teacher that had started at Danielle's, and she offered like a lyrical class. And that was so foreign to us and so new because it was like tap, jazz, ballet, hip hop. That was kind of your structure, acro.
Right.
And there's this like lyrical class, and I remember she would always play the softest music. She would play like Damien Rice all the time, and like literally it was an immediate connection to that style of music.
Okay.
Right.
And just the feelings, like I felt like I had so many feelings, and like it was just such a new avenue of dance because I remember even seeing like any recital videos. I would like study their old recital videos, and like any dance to like a slower song or something that felt a little bit more emotional, I always felt like I could just connect to it a little bit more. Not quite sure why, but so yeah, I was always guided to something that made me feel. So for me, that I guess stemmed from the music that I listened to. And once I found some sort of like connection or feeling within a song,
Right.
it always was something a little bit slower or more emotional. And that's kind of what, I don't know, I gravitated towards.
It's how important music is.
Absolutely.
To dance, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Music's everything.
So in your choreographic process now, do you find that music is your starting point?
Yes. And I'm very curious about changing that. I feel like I'm ready to not let music be the number one influence. I want to start to expand on like, you know, I spoke about it in class today, like things that are more like sensation based, or, you know, I want to access something that isn't influenced by music. I don't want music to be the start, or at least not for all of my processes, because for so long that's what it's been. Music has been kind of what has guided me. And if I didn't feel a certain way when I listened to a song, I couldn't use it.
Right.
You know, so I feel like that's kind of the struggle with finding music for me too, is I don't know what other people's processes are, but like if I don't feel it, I can't use it. I can't create to it.
Right.
And I think too, you have to be in a certain space where you're open to being moved and allowing yourself to feel when you listen.
Right.
Which is also becoming a practice for me. But sometimes you're not in that space to, I guess, receive those feelings or take that on when you listen to music. So, I have to feel it in order to be able to create to it.
But you want to go a different direction now.
I think, I feel like I feel like my processes, of course, they're different based on who I'm with and who I'm choreographing for. But I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning towards becoming more of a student and trying new things and finding new ways, just because I feel like I've done kind of a similar rubric and followed a similar formula for so long that I'm curious about
you want to improve, I guess, right? Like that's how you're going to improve and evolve, right?
That has always been my number one thing as a choreographer, is like I need to not only like feel like I'm improving, I want to see the improvement.
Okay.
And I told myself from a very young age, I never want to be someone who can put 2 or 3 of my pieces beside each other and find so much similarity.
Okay.
I understand everyone has their style, and you can kind of tell, you know, oh, that's a Brandon piece or that's a this person piece. And that I'm fine with. But when the vocabulary feels so similar and when the structure feels so similar, that is something that I've kind of always feared in my career. Is I've always wanted to be able to have my pieces be somewhat different and
individual
and not feel like it's a repetition.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So where are you finding ways to do that? Like, where are you finding this new vocabulary? Like, what's stemming the inspiration?
You know what? I'm asking myself the same question, to be honest, is how to find that. I think at this point in my career, it's actually not putting the focus and the lens on dance itself, but on life. And seeing how I can translate real life experiences and real life sensations and feelings into my movement, as opposed to being like, hey, I'm going to go into a dance studio and I'm going to try to create a new shape.
Right.
What I've been trying to preach recently is like, let's try to examine the feelings and the sensations that are created as we move, as opposed to trying to find the next cool shape.
Right.
Because I feel like for a long time, for me, it was like, how intricate can I make this phrase? Or how many kind of abstract shapes can I create? And I mean, I love a good awkward pose or, you know, that kind of thing, but I love an awkward pose.
Definitely.
But I'm looking for more depth at this point. I'm looking for more depth.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of this, I want to dive into this a little bit more. There was a class, I don't know if it was, because I've been following you and your work for a long time. I don't know if it was something that you posted on your Instagram or if it was a class that I witnessed you teach one time, but I remember you saying something about you had used like a quote from a book, and that sort of like it led you into creating the piece that you created.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about that?
Yes. So sometimes, first of all, I feel like my younger years, especially creating, a lot of it was from subconscious. And it wouldn't be until a season was over or I had seen a piece so often that I would just out of nowhere in the audience get like hit like a truck and be like, holy crap, that's what this piece is about. And throughout the whole process and, you know, rehearsing it and whatever it was, like I never really pinpointed where it came from until I had seen it. So for a long time it was subconscious. And then, I mean, I still think pieces come from that as well, but I don't know. I'm very influenced by like poetry. I'm very influenced by song titles is another big one that's come around for me. Sometimes I'll be like scrolling through Spotify and like, I'll be like, oh, what is this song? And the song itself, I just don't connect to, but the title. And what I've started to do is I like have an Excel sheet where like any couple of words or like a line of something I'll use. And I feel like that often turns into pieces. That's so cool. The one I think you're referring to was when I did my Ace Awards piece, and it was called Wipe Your Feet First.
Yes.
And it was just like a short little poem from a book that I had got in a poetry book. And I think it was something along the lines of like, I will let you into my heart, but please wipe your feet at the door, or like something like that.
Okay.
And then that kind of just like festered a little bit. I thought like, okay, like what does this mean? And it's like, wow, the idea of being so cautious before you let someone into your space. And that's kind of just where that came from.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's like, and there's so many probably different ways of you like coming up with like where you see these, like just not from books, but like do you get like inspiration from TV or just everyday stuff? Like where else do you get some inspiration for your pieces?
Sometimes I feel like I'm fighting to find it and I'm searching for it. And I'm also realizing that as soon as you start to really look for it, you're not going to find it.
Right.
You need to allow the space for it to come to you instead of trying to strategically sit at a table and create it. But yes, like I said, song titles, just music in general, poetry, film for sure, TV. Like I actually created, I would say, one of my most like emotional pieces based on like just a piece of a Friends episode.
Nice.
Yeah, it was wild. The fact, I don't know how it came to me, but it was about, there's this episode in Friends where they keep trying to get into Monica's closet in her apartment.
Okay.
And she's such a neat freak. And like in this closet, they finally like are able to get into it. And it's such a mess in there. And it's like everything that she tries to like hide away and like put away and not show to other people is like behind that door. And I don't know, there was something about that like had really struck me, and I based a piece around.
Did you tell the dancers that?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I tried to be a little bit deeper with my explanation at the beginning, but then when I felt like they might have been struggling a little bit with like relating to it, I was like, you know what, guys, maybe you'll catch this, maybe you'll get this, and they did, and it actually worked for them. So
Yeah.
it was great. Yeah,
That's
oh
cool.
my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Inspiration for me, yeah, just comes from all places.
Yeah, same for me. Like I don't know where it comes from me, but I'm not like doing contemporary pieces, but yeah, just
So, like,
comes differently.
Do you? I mean, I guess my question would be like, where apart from art can we find our inspiration? Like I was saying, like everyday life and stuff like that. But I mean, for someone to say like, oh, I'm so inspired, like I'm so curious about what that is, because that would look so different on everyone, wouldn't it?
Well,
Right.
absolutely, because it's just experience. Like I created a duet for senior dancers a
Yeah.
couple years ago, Petra and Musa,
Right.
and it was like an out of body experience. I don't really know what was happening as I was creating it, and then looking at it afterwards, I really shocked myself because I didn't know that I had that story to tell.
Subconscious.
Yes.
It's there, and you don't
Yes.
realize that that's what it's about. And
No.
then you said it, and you see it, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's what that is.
Yes.
I feel that.
Cool.
I feel that for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you want to-
Yeah, no, I got some stuff. I mean, when you are creating, and have you ever created something or thought something was going to go one way, and then maybe it didn't turn out the way you like thought, and maybe you would say like it wasn't your best. I don't know, like
Yeah.
like how does that? Because we always talk about the positive things, but like
Right.
there are sometimes negatives, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always hiccups when creating. I mean, think about it this way, like not everything that any artist creates is going to be genius and brilliant all
Right.
the time, you know? And I think it's just creating is always just a practice, and sometimes you hit a home run and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're faced with different challenges. It could be even just, you know, something that you're going through or the energy that you're bringing into the room. It could be the energy of the kids. It could be, you know, outside life stuff. I feel like there's always kind of little things being thrown at you that you need to learn how to dodge and adapt with. And
Right.
so absolutely, I mean, there's pieces I'll look back on and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't even know what I was thinking here or what
Right.
was I doing. But again, it's like those things are necessary for the growth and for you
Right.
to find your voice and to figure it out for sure.
You don't let it like affect you too much.
I mean, I will be disappointed in myself for sure. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm a really big people pleaser. I don't want to let anybody down. I'm a huge empath. I can like read energy and feel energy. So I can tell when someone's, you know, not quite satisfied with a body of work or a piece of work, or I can tell when the kids might not necessarily be gripping onto it. And that's something very difficult for me to overcome and to try to, you know, get past. But I mean, it's you need to create all different
Right.
I mean ways to be able to find your voice, but I think it's unrealistic to think that, you know, an artist has a process that's magical all the time.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. How do you navigate the line between choreography that is your voice and showcasing the student's voice as well?
That's a great question. I always, when I'm doing a solo, I like to try to spend a lot of my time sitting, because I don't want my vocabulary and my movement to be based or to influence them too much. So I like to be more of like a director when I'm choreographing solos. I've been really considering, you know, what I feel like my purpose and my why is teaching from when I was younger versus to what it is now. Because I feel like there has been kind of like a indirect path, and it's kind of brought me back to my beginning, which was to have students express themselves and feel comfortable expressing themselves and finding their voice and being artistic. So that for me is incredibly important. I will often ask them in my process, like, you're in this position, what feels good? What's your intuition telling you to do? What do you need to do? Where do you need to go? Because I think the more that we can encourage them to continue to develop their voices, the more confident they'll be in them, you know, and they'll be able to trust them more. So yeah, opening that up and that collaboration is super, super important to me. You know, when it comes to a group setting, I think it's a little bit more difficult. But I do kind of always pose the question, like, where do you think the narrative is heading right now? What do you think, you know, your character would do in the situation? And I try to get as much of their input to kind of guide me to where I feel like the piece needs to go. But I think there's a level of importance that, you know, not every choreographer will kind of take that. And I mean, it's different based on the styles that, you know,
Right.
you're choreographing. But yeah, I
It's
think
a good mix.
Yeah,
Yeah, you kind of mix it together.
I think it has to be a collaboration for it
Yeah.
to come off as authentic. Because I mean, as much as the movement is coming from me or the direction's coming from me, I'm not the one on stage.
For sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, like I live so deeply for the moments where I can watch my kids dance and I can feel something from it. And that's not going to happen unless they're feeling something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can try to give as much direction and like of myself to put into them, but at the same time, like they also need to have some sort of connection to it as well for it to read the way I want it to.
Of course.
You know?
Yep.
When you're watching a dancer, whether it be on a stage setting or film or in class, what is it to you that really makes a dancer stand out, that you can, like, what makes them so unforgettable?
I think it's seeing how invested they are in what they're doing or how passionate they are. You know, I can easily forgive, you know, a hiccup or someone blanking or, you know, some technicalities that aren't,
A shake. Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
perfect. If I can see someone who looks like they are loving what they're doing, and again, I can like feel that energy, I can read that energy.
Yep.
That is what draws my eye immediately. And like that's because that's kind of what I feel like my purpose is to nurture that artistic voice. So when I can tell that they are listening to themselves and they're following their intuition, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of where my eye will be drawn to, because they're doing more than just physical shapes.
Right.
There's
Right.
more to it happening, you know. They have something to say, and I'm curious to hear what they have to say, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you choreograph like studio stuff, like
Yes.
obviously,
Yeah.
and but like, do you want to do something outside of that too? Like, I mean, I know you probably have done some, you know, like the Ace Awards stuff.
Yeah.
And like what other things are you passionate about that you'd like to do? You know.
I mean, I've always said at some point in my career I need to create a show,
Okay.
but I will not create a show until I know that it is the show that I think is gonna like move me and I can be fully proud of and satisfied with. And yeah, I don't know, like
You're waiting for that
I'm
right
waiting.
time.
You know, I don't want to say I'm waiting for the right time, because there's never going to be the right time.
Right.
But I think I'm waiting for the moment where, I don't know. I was going to say where I feel like it's the right time, but
It's
like,
just an instinct.
I
It's
feel like it's
just-
an instinct.
Yeah.
I feel like when I feel like there's no other avenue for me to say what I need to say, unless it's a show, that's when I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
You know, because I want it to be, if I'm going to make a show, it's going to be, ooh, this is scary to say, it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It has to be a good show. And that's just because of the standard that I set myself up for.
Right.
You know?
Of course.
If I'm going to do a show, it's going to be great. So apart from that, though, I've really become interested in like concert work. I've been going to a lot of like ballets and stuff like that. I love this. I've been following so many people on Instagram. Like I'm just, it's opened up this new side of dance for me that I always knew existed, but I think I was so set on competitive work, and that's you know where all my work was, that that had been my main focus. But concert work is a big thing that I've been super interested in.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you want to maybe start choreographing that?
Yeah, or some version of, you know, like I feel like, I don't know, I feel like because I have just such a competitive dance background, it takes a lot of research, and I think it goes back to maybe changing my methods like we spoke about, you
Right.
know? Maybe it's not finding the song, maybe it's going off the sensations, going off the feelings, going off a relationship, it's going off more life stuff, you know? Because I watch concert work and I'm like, oh, this wasn't created for show.
No.
You know what I mean? This was created with purpose and intent, and there is something behind it. And not to say that competitive work doesn't have that, but I don't know. I feel like that's just like an avenue I'm becoming more and more curious about, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's wonderful. So how do you define success as an artist? Like, would that be your end goal is creating your own show, or like is it even art based?
So that's a great question. This is a question
right?
that we should ask everyone because
That's
like
wild.
Because how do you separate
always,
your personal life from your artist life? Like,
Yes.
so does it overlap success for you, or is it?
I have always been very work driven and work heavy, and I based my success, or what I viewed as my success, on competition results for a long time. You know what I mean? Which is wild to think about because, again, 3 people's opinion, it's so subjective, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think it got to, I don't know, it was pretty bad for a while where it was like, that's, if my numbers didn't do good, I wasn't good enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now, having been on multiple sides of things and, you know, matured and all of that stuff, I realize that's not the case whatsoever. But yeah, my idea of success is, I guess, being in alignment, loving what you do, being happy at work and outside of work, I think is huge. Yeah, living a full life, whatever that might mean to you. It's going to be different for everyone, but I think, yeah, that's kind of my version of success is.
But it's not like an actual like thing, like one set thing. It's just a happy life.
There are like accolades and stuff like that where I've been like, that was a goal,
right?
And I got it, but it didn't.
Like the choreographer of the year.
Yeah, like
great.
that was huge for me, and that was something I remember saying, like, that's something I want. Like I want to get that one day, and you know, I did, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of my kids for all the work that they put in, and I'm so grateful to have had that experience and had that avenue. But again, I didn't look at it and say, okay, I'm successful now because of it. You know what I mean? I think there are so many definitions of success, and for me, again, I think it's seeing my kids dance and seeing them grow and seeing them become artists. Like, that's when I can look at myself and say, like, okay, I think you're doing something good.
Yeah.
And that I can say, like, okay, you're successful in that. You know, developing artists, I think, is my number one. So when I feel like I'm doing that job, I think that's when I'm like, okay, I'm successful. I think we go kind of like ups and downs in what success looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll constantly be changing. So
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, like, winning that award, did it like add, or even just some of the success you have in general with your choreography, do you find that it's add like pressure to you? Because, like, you know, even as a studio owner, and like we've had success, you know, in the last little bit too as a studio. Yeah. It's added pressure, I think, to me and to everything that we do at the studio. So how does it find for you with the pressure of that?
Definitely, yeah. It definitely does. Because you also never know what people are expecting of you when they hire you.
Right.
You know what I know? Well, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of walk into a studio quite blindly. I mean, you know the kids, or you know the strengths of the studio, but why exactly are they hiring you? What exactly do they want? You know, especially when
Always
you
ask myself this.
especially when you have different kind of styles that you play around with, and like it is pressure, because at the end of the day, they're hiring you for the experience that you bring to their kids, but they're expecting some sort of positive result, right? Like, I think that's pretty safe to say. Yeah. And so, again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, like, sometimes you hit the home run and sometimes you don't. Right. And there's the fear of, okay, well, if I don't hit the home run, are they going to hire me back? And they're going to be upset with me.
We've had that inside joke where, like, when you're not going to be coming back to the studio.
We've had that for years. Literally,
and I've hired you every single year. So,
yes.
But because you always deliver, you know, and with amazing stuff. So, but yeah.
But no, yeah, it does take a toll on you for sure. But at the end of the day, I think you got to just lead with your intuition, trust yourself, trust that you have everything that you need already within you, and then just go for it.
I got another one.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it a different way now, because I've been calling some choreographers that I've never worked with. And you just mentioned, like, you know, the expectations of when you come into a studio. Yeah. Especially, like, you work with a lot of studios that you've worked with in the past. Yep. It's like that first time when you've never worked with them. Yes. Like, that's got to be crazy. And I'm calling choreographers today, actually, that have never worked with our students. Yeah. And I'm like hoping that they're gonna come work with them. But I can see maybe why they don't sometimes, because like they have already work, and then it's like it's got to be like, you know, nervous for them too, right? Like going into a whole new space, new students that they don't even know. And is that what happens when you do that? I mean, you do that as well.
Yeah, for me, like you can only do so much, right? And the more work you produce, you sort of, it's like it dilutes the work, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to be sort of selective. And I find that you're like this, right? You're very selective and protective over your work. And I think that's why it's like quality over quantity.
Right.
Right.
And that's fairly new to me too.
Yeah.
Like this isn't within the last like maybe 2-3 years where I've become selective and I've learned to say no, because again, it's that protection. Like I care very deeply about my work. Like I said, I'm very, very work oriented. So yeah, I feel like I'm lost.
No, well, you were just saying like you're selective of like, you know what we're doing, or who you're working with, like, and you're not just doing anything and saying yes to everyone.
Right.
Yeah. Because
and how you navigate taking on new studios or new companies to work with.
We were talking before about like even like how much work you can do, you know, because you know, I know that you come to Ottawa and you work at a few different studios. You used to do a lot of stuff here, and I think you were telling me that you were, you know, not doing as much, you know, and that's, you know, maybe stop like burnout or whatever you know, because like, I don't know how many numbers you've done. I know you've told me some high numbers back in the day, how many you've done in a year.
Yeah, how many have you, like, what's the most you've done in a year?
In a year?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fly.
I think it's 164, I
what?
believe.
No way.
Yeah.
You did 164 dances
in a season.
In one season.
I did, yes.
That might be a world record.
Wow.
Come on. That's a whole studio's worth.
There was like, maybe 5 or 6 years where I think I was at over 120.
Wow.
For a season. And again, it takes its toll on you for sure. And I just got to a place where I'm realizing that if I am not getting my cup filled by life and, you know, living a life outside of the studio, like I don't have anything to pour into my students. You know what I mean? So I think I just think it's so important to take that time, and I'm realizing, you know, I'm gonna say I'm in my older age that is so important to do. And again, being so young, you're so grateful for your opportunities. Again, you don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to say no. You want to take as much as you can get, because you don't know when you're not going to get it anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because I see that, you know, there's a lot of choreographers that come, you know, for the intensive weeks, let's say, right? And they're doing like 2 or 3 in a day. And I know, and a lot of people say, well, they're young and they're like, they can do it, and they're trying to, you know, make money and all those types of things. But I hope that it just doesn't, you know, I don't know, have the burnout there, or like, you know, maybe like dilutes their stuff too, right? Like sometimes doing too much is, you know, like you said, it could be repetitive, and that type of stuff. And so sometimes being a little selective, I think, you know,
doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and having a break, you know, if you're, you know, instead of doing, you know, 8 hours, do like 6, you know, rest a couple more. But everyone's, you know, got their own thing. And,
for sure.
But having an assistant is very helpful as well.
Huge too.
No, definitely. I don't really use an assistant that much, but
I have to really, mainly just because I'm getting older and my body cannot physically do everything. That the kids are doing right now. So I can choreograph it and I can direct them and I can shape them, but I can't always physically show them everything anymore. Also, dance is just, it's so different now. It's so athletic. Like these kids are
wild.
I know.
It's crazy what they're doing.
It's inhumane.
Yes,
guys, it's insane.
Inhumane. That's exactly it.
I think when they're like slamming down on the ground on their knees, which I still just don't get how they like are just not in pain, because like I can't even just like go down to my knees. Like
I know it
like
takes
jumping
me like
in the air.
3 counts of 8 to get down, and then I'm lucky if I get up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then to get up is a whole other issue.
No, but T can still dance. She still can.
She took my class today. She was incredible.
Yeah, she's still.
Yeah, but I was saying to Brandon that like I can't plie anymore because I just like my joints can't handle it, and I don't have the muscle tone to support it anymore. So my dancing is really like from the waist up. So like I have some flavor, but like, there's no plie.
I got you. Well, we're also old, right? You and me, right? How old are you now?
34.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Okay, you're still young.
Yeah.
You're still
Yeah.
young.
Okay, I thought you were going to be like, oh, yeah, okay,
No,
you are.
we got 10 years on you.
No. But I mean, like, there's 20-year-olds. What we just had Bennett. He's just turning 21.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's Michael Prince. Like, how old's he? Like 25.
25, yeah.
There's like 50, 60-year-old choreographers. Like,
Yeah.
there's not really, age doesn't really define it. I don't think. You know.
I wonder, like, when you get to that age.
My age?
Because...
No.
Dinosaur age?
She keeps
Fossil.
saying that.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Okay.
Has your experience as a choreographer
Yeah.
changed based on your age? The older you've gotten, like, how has your process changed? Or, like, does your inspiration come from a different place than it did when you were younger? Like, what's your evolution?
Well, my choreography when I was younger was absolute garbage.
Define
Like-
garbage, though. Like, what does that even mean?
Like, it's just, it didn't make sense, and it wasn't tailored to the dancer. It was
Okay.
just what I wanted to deliver, and I've learned now as a teacher, and honestly, as a parent,
Right.
that has been a big influence
Yeah.
in my teaching and my choreography, is that I look at it from the kid's point of view a little bit more rather than my own.
Right.
Yeah. But movement wise, like I was saying to Mike earlier, I feel like in your class today, actually, well, first of all, it was Fleetwood Mac, right? So like that's totally speaks to my soul.
Right.
But I feel like I get frustrated in my own work because I know that I have the experience and the wisdom, and I know that I can hit those nuances the way that they're supposed to be
Right.
delivered, but my body can't do it, and I'm really frustrated with that right now. Specifically in this season of my life,
Yep.
I'm frustrated that I can't do it anymore,
Right.
and I'm starting to worry that if I can't do it, how am I going to continue
To
teach
and
teach
choreograph.
it?
Yeah.
And I do my best to take classes, and I'm always learning and researching, so I'm doing my best, but my body is not.
That's where the assistant has to come in.
That's where I have to
I was
have an
gonna say,
assistant.
does that hinder the work you create?
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does. Like, I'm lucky that I have a really talented daughter that dances. So
Exceptionally
when I'm
talented.
creating,
Yeah.
she's a very talented kid.
Yeah.
But she works hard.
Yes, she does.
But she's very helpful to me.
Yeah.
Because when I'm creating something, I can ask her, like if I'm at home and I'm
Right.
prepping something, I can ask her like, hey, can you just try this out? Like, does it actually work? Because I can't do it fast enough on my body, or I can't get my body to make that shape that I need.
Right.
Can you show me? So I am lucky that I have that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wish I really could do it. And I'm mad at myself because I didn't keep up. I didn't keep in shape, you know, and I'm kind of angry at myself. So in this season of life, I'm struggling with that
Right.
and worrying that I'm going to become irrelevant.
No, that's not going to happen.
Because I can't
She works
physically
too
do it
hard.
anymore.
But you know what?
She works too
That's
hard.
a very real fear.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a huge, like, I mean, I remember thinking that when I was like 19, 20. Like, I don't want to become irrelevant next year or the year
Right.
after or the year. So, like, another reason why we're constantly saying yes and we're constantly pushing. And, like, we put ourselves out on the line and bleed ourselves dry in hopes that we stay
To do it all
relevant,
over
and then
again.
so that we can do it all over again.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
It's wild.
You know, with me in choreography, because I don't see myself as like choreographers like you guys. You know, like you guys are way deeper.
Oh, don't even try to put me on the same
No.
level as
well,
this
I'm just
guy
saying,
right
you guys
here.
are a different level than I am. But because I also wasn't like, I don't know if there was people, I never really was taught, you know, like we were talking again to Bennett and he was talking about the program that was helping him learn how to choreograph, you
And
know?
that's a thing that I never had that.
Right.
And, you know, I'm so envious of those people who have, you know, taken the choice to go to school and to get all of those tools.
Right.
I wish I had those.
Well, you know, I didn't go to school. I didn't go to university, but I will say that my dance teacher's choreographic style really has influenced mine, because she was the master of camouflage and the master of layering. And I find that I have so many layers in my choreography that sometimes it's too much.
I was literally just speaking to someone about this like a couple of weeks ago, and they said the exact same thing, how their teacher growing up has influenced them in such a great way for their patterns and their formations and their layers and stuff like that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like parenting, like, you know, your kids where you, it's the same type of thing, right?
True.
Oh, for sure.
Dance teachers are like almost parents, you
Yeah.
know, right? So, but yeah, I just think that the schooling, like you're talking about, we talked about on one of the other episodes, a thing that happened at Stratford, because I never went to like theater school and I had no idea how to strike something off stage. But it's the same thing. Like I didn't get that knowledge. I didn't get taught that. So like my early on stuff was absolutely horrible. Not horrible, just not great. And then still to this day, I'm still, you know, trying to figure out, you know, how to make it better. And
But that's so cool too, to think that like we've done all of this work and we're at this age and we're still evolving.
Yeah.
And we're still wanting to evolve.
Right.
I think that's where like the real beauty lies, is that we're still curious.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I will say back in the day, like there was some crazy ideas, you know, we had some really crazy ideas for pieces and stuff. And so maybe I've toned those down a little bit, but yeah, no, I didn't go to any schooling for that. And, you know, it would have been nice.
I think it would be so like there's so many like post-secondary programs now that are like 1 year long, 2 year long, and they're teaching dancers how to get into the industry. But I mean, I'm sure there are programs like this, but are there programs like that teach you how to be a choreographer?
I don't know.
Like, I don't really know of any.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think there was a point where Concordia was offering some sort of choreography program, or I wasn't sure if it was just their dance program that had how to choreograph in it.
Right.
I feel like at this point, any dance institution must touch on that at some point. You know what I mean? And I think also providing the opportunity for students to just choreograph a piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Canterbury even does that, do they not?
Yeah,
like,
they have that choreography at the end.
Yeah, like I feel like even just allowing them to do that is great enough practice. I'm sure they get feedback from teachers and stuff like that. But,
but it would also be just so nice if, you know, just to be like that third eye, just to kind of follow maybe somebody who's on set, a choreographer, or
because there's so many avenues outside of competitive dance for choreography.
But think about, like, you know, having your assistants. Like when we danced, there was no assistants. Well, maybe there was, but I mean, like, now we have our students help us, like your daughter, or, you know, Pet did some for me, and, you know, and they're learning from us because they're assisting us and they're seeing how our process goes. So, you know, we're teaching them a little bit that way too, right?
For sure. Like, I've recently had like some assistants tell me, like, you know, being with you and working with you has allowed me to see what works, see what doesn't work, adapt kind of my own style. But like, like, I had someone the other day be like, you know, I can choreograph a group because of you, because I assisted you. Like, I know what I'm looking for. I know what to do. I know what the ins and outs of it. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
I just didn't have that when I was younger. I'm not sure if you did. You know, I never assisted, you know, choreographers back then. So
for me, like, I think one of the reasons why I got into choreography was I felt like a lot of the choreography that I did never felt like right in my body. You know, I don't know, I grew up watching, you know, like Ted Home and like Emily Shock and all of these people that were pushing the envelope of dance at the time. And I remember just like being in my basement, turning off the lights, like improving and being like, how like weird can I get? How different can I create? And like, I don't know, I think that started it all for me too, you know?
I think that, like, just saying, like, being willing to be weird and to be different and to see what you can create, that's a different generation than our generation.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that was not what we were.
No, that is not what we did.
Straight lines and like, sharp and.
Yeah, I mean, I remember our teacher used to have guests in, but that was like a real luxury back then. It's not like today.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think in my whole competitive career, I've had like one hip hop guest choreography and one tap. Like, that's the only guest choreo I had.
Yeah, I remember when I was at Greater Leeming, we had, I want to say Kelly, what's her last name? But it was like from Rhode Island. She came and did a solo for me once, and that was like crazy,
right?
You know, and like
unheard of.
Yeah, it was unheard of back in the day. You know, like now we're flying in people from like LA. You know, like it's
honestly,
insane.
If you look at a kid's like choreo list, I would say like maybe half is guests.
Oh yeah, for sure,
absolutely,
for sure. and not just like any guests now. Like we're talking like big names.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like and you know, really great choreographers. So not that ours weren't great choreographers back then, but you know, when
Well,
you get,
I just don't think it was like we had talked about this, like how it's just grown so much. Like, I mean, how many solos did you have in 1 year?
Growing up?
Yeah.
like, did you have like 3
Two.
solos?
Two.
You had 2,
Like,
right.
Two.
like 2
That
was,
was
like,
max.
that was max. And you were probably pretty lucky to get 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like now kids are doing 3, 4 solos, like 4 duets. Like you have to have all these choreographers come out
Right.
because the
Right.
home teachers can't do it all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it's just booming and building and growing and expanding, and it's a lot. It's
Right.
a lot. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's that.
And that's
too.
why we get B to come do some numbers. He only
I
gives
love
us
it.
he only gives us 1, but we'll take it.
Give you
Quality over quantity.
That's
There it
right.
is.
It's always
You're lucky
it's
you're on the
always,
list, Mike.
I'm on the list. It's always a
Lucky you're on
banger.
the
That's
list.
why I love it.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything like, is there like a goal though, like other than your show? Is there like also actually, were you ever wanting to be a dancer? Like, did you ever want to like professionally dance? Like, I'm sure you did some stuff, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like, was that, you know, do you ever want to be on stage or on film yourself?
You know, like, I loved to dance. I loved to train. But I think I loved creating the most. I loved, like, being able to create these artistic voices and pull from people and have them feel like they could do more than they thought they
Yeah.
could. You know, I was always more passionate about teaching, I think.
Cool.
You know what I mean? I feel like, yeah, I love dancing. I love taking class, and I could not picture my life without it. But I think, yeah, that always satisfied me more than
Performing.
dancing and performing myself.
So I think, I don't say that's rare, but I think that's like, you know, there's more people that want to dance
For
than,
sure.
than choreograph. Yeah. You know, and so at such a young age, usually like a dancer dances first and then,
Right.
you know, they'll transition sometimes into
Yeah.
choreography, but
Like, I will say, like, I was still dancing when I was choreographing. Like, when I
Wow.
started doing choreo, like, I was actually still competing when I started doing choreo for other studios. And then I moved to Toronto and was just taking so much class, and I loved being in class and dancing and doing that all the time. But yeah, something was always pulling me back
right.
to doing the choreo.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to like go outside of Toronto? Is there anything like in New York? Is there any like a city that would like you
Like
want?
to set work in, or to like do something outside of the competitive world?
Yeah, maybe outside of the competitive world, or even like, I mean, do you do anything outside of like Toronto, Ottawa? I mean, you do some like in the States. Are you doing choreo out there too? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've done a couple in the States, and I mean, yeah, I would say Toronto and Ottawa mostly
right.
is kind of where I'm at. But I'm definitely open to doing more in other places. But again, I think too of the pressure that comes with that and,
Right.
and all of that stuff. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, if I were to, you know, have an invitation to set work for a film or set work for a music video, like, of course I would take that opportunity. I don't think that's something that I feel like is necessary in my career, at least at this point. Like, I'm
Right.
pretty content with what I do. But at the same time, I'm very open to new experiences. You know what I
Nice.
mean? I've been doing this for, I mean, I'm 34. I've been doing it since I was 18. So how long is that? 16 years?
I'm bad at math, so
I'm going to say 16. I'm going to
we'll go with
pretend
that.
16.
We'll go with 16.
So yeah, I'm definitely open to it. But again, I don't think that it's like, if I do this, then I'm satisfied and I can put a rest to, you know, creating or whatever it is. It's just, it would be another thing to experience.
Cool.
I'm open. I'm all about like new experiences, I think, right now.
Nice.
Whatever is going to influence my creative process and my vocabulary and all of that stuff. So that, again, I think it goes back to that goal of like continuous growth and never staying in the same spot, never being settled.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about like, what would you say, or who has been like the biggest influence? Is there like a person that like, or even till today, like, is there someone that you're like look up to, or like you like really studied a bit, or in the choreography world? Like even like someone you
That's-
work with, like with Vlad, for example. Like,
Yeah.
did you like? Because like, I remember his early pieces, and his pieces are great, but like,
Yeah.
he's like he was super creative to me. And,
Yeah.
like, you know, like Was there anything like that?
No, for sure. I mean, I feel like I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, absolutely. I feel like I have so many different influences. Right now, I don't know. Like, Anissa's a really big one for me. She really influences me, which is weird because, like, I mean, our relationship was built on, she was, you know, she was super young when I started dancing.
Right.
And then, you know, we went our separate ways. She was a competitive dancer. I started creating. And I don't know, life kind of just like brought us together, and she started assisting me and we started working together. And I don't know, there's something about her energy and the way that she approaches artistry and dance that has been so like enlightening to me. And I feel like that has been a really big influence.
Her name's been mentioned a couple times now on this
Anissa?
podcast. Yeah, like from other people. So
yeah, no,
That's
she is something special. Like, she is something else.
I would
Yeah.
agree. I got to watch her teach a little bit this a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, I just watched her wide-eyed. The way that she speaks to the kids and the way she delivers her material, and it's
The
very laid back
delivery.
and very comfortable and very
Yes.
inviting and warm.
Yep.
And
But with so much depth and information and
yes.
I don't know. Huge inspiration.
that's cool.
Huge inspiration.
And she's younger than you, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
she's much younger.
That's
yeah.
cool. That's very-
But yeah, I mean, I love, again, it's concert work. It's all these like concert choreographers that have been a big
Cool.
influence too. But I mean, growing up, Mia Michaels was like God. Like, she was
Of course.
huge inspo. Like I said, Emily Schock, who's just like an Oklahoma-based choreographer. Like, she was someone I studied and watched her stuff on YouTube all the time. And
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, we had Bennett on, and he said you were his biggest, right, inspiration. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he loved, couldn't say
Yes.
the bad things, and then you walked in.
And then he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
basically starstruck. And
Exactly.
He's
Oh my God.
known
Yeah.
you his whole life. So
But
Yeah, that's always really special to hear too, is to know that I've had that kind of influence on people. Because if I were to put up a mirror and look at myself, I would never say that I was that person, you know?
Right.
So I think that's really special. And I mean, to help someone find their voice again is just, I don't know, isn't that kind of the ultimate goal as a teacher?
Yep.
Is to give them that strength and that confidence to be able to do that. So whenever I hear things like that, it really moves me. It's the definition of success.
There you
know?
go.
Circling back to that.
There we are.
Amazing.
We can almost like end on that. You
I
know?
think that's a great ending.
Yeah. I'm sure we could talk about so many more things.
Yes.
But
You made Michael cry.
no, I've been tearing because I don't know what's going on with my eyes.
We got
Like,
some
like-
dry eyes. Got some dry eyes in the house.
We've been in here for a while. Yeah, I gotta get a filter or something.
Yeah.
But no, this was great. We really,
Yeah.
really thank you for coming, and we're gonna have you again because we have still like a million more questions.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some really good answers for you.
No, you
Now-
did-
Those
you did
answers
great,
that you
bud.
gave were amazing.
Yeah, it
I'm
was really
always
good.
amazed because I'm not very articulate with my voice, which is hilarious because
But-
I'm on a podcast. I'm like, sure, let's do a
No,
podcast.
you are fantastic. I am
Thank you.
Mr. Stumbly over words. Like,
No,
I
you
feel
didn't
like
do
not
anything
one,
yet. No.
not once.
Oh, I feel like I'm not articulate.
This is still staying in, by the way.
at
This is
all.
all staying in the
Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
No, keep it.
You
out.
know what we need to do because we haven't done this. Well, we kind of did, but like go check out your work. Like, you know, like do you have an
Yeah.
Instagram? Like,
Yes.
tell us your Instagram and you know any way they can contact you or whatever.
Brandon Quaz. Brandon
Yeah.
BrandonCroise.
Nice.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
YouTube me, but
His side hustle is rapping.
Yes.
how did you know? I also have a separate YouTube account for my rap videos.
Oh my God.
We could start a band.
We
I'm-
should.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God,
be a
here we
drummer.
go.
We should. My dad was a drummer.
And he's here in Ottawa.
Yes. Yeah.
Tanisha would like to get some
I
lessons.
would like
'cause
some
she wants to
lessons.
do
Would you
drummer.
actually?
Can
Yeah.
you hook me up?
I mean, I don't think he's drummed in like 40 years, but
Well, I've
we'll
never drummed.
see. Okay.
So-
Oh,
She
maybe
thinks she could do it.
Is that a new thing? Is that like
No.
are you called to drumming right now?
I'm called to drumming. Like I'll go to a concert and I watch the drummer.
Okay.
And it feels like I'm an empath like you, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a past life thing with me, but I know I can. You hush. I know I can do it. I don't know why. I also think I was a rock star
I can see it.
at one time.
I believe
in
it.
a past life.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my husband got me drumming lessons, and
Shut up.
No, he did.
Have
for
you
my
started?
birthday. No, because I've been traveling so much, working. So
Okay.
as soon as I have a little downtime,
Yes.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it a
Oh,
try.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't wait to see it on the podcast.
And
Oh,
what are you
I'm
going to
sure.
do, Mike?
I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing on the pod. Actually, no, we're getting
That's
tattoos.
right.
I'm getting a tattoo on the podcast. Like we're gonna do a podcast while I'm getting a tattoo.
Okay.
It's gonna be his first tattoo.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, and
Maybe
and
we should go together.
You don't have one?
I don't have one.
Well, we can do it here. They're gonna come here. So next time you're here, we'll do it together.
You don't have a tattoo?
I don't
You
have a
none?
tattoo. No. And-
What would be your first tattoo?
Okay. I'm such a Dermot Kennedy fan, and I always wanted
You
to
are.
have.
I know you
I'm
are.
a huge Dermot fan. I always wanted to tattoo Without Fear because that was like one of his. I think that was his first like big album and my favorite song off the album, and I just love that idea. But then I was like, do I want like words? Do I want to sing? Like, do I want more of just like a picture? And like, my brother said something so insightful. He was like, a tattoo should be like a scar that you always want to remember. Like, it should be so meaningful that every time you look at it, like,
Right.
there's depth to it. You know what I mean? It's
All
not.
of mine are very meaningful.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, when I was like 16, I was like, I want a Harry Potter tattoo because I was such a Harry Potter guy.
Nerd
but
alert.
like, yeah, sorry. I've moved past that for sure. I'm not getting the Deathly Hallows on me, but
No pieces based off of Harry Potter yet, or
you know what? Well, there was kind of one once.
okay,
I referenced.
That's the
I
show.
mean,
that's the
That's
show.
coming.
the Harry Potter show.
I
Once
mean-
HBO releases their first season, I'm gonna do a
That's
dance
it.
show based around it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Perfect.
Maybe.
Perfect.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, no. I think I want a tattoo for sure. I don't know what the deepest thing I could get is. But then
Right.
let me just pause. Does it need to be the deepest thing? Can it not just be something meaningful?
Yeah,
It doesn't, but I think
doesn't have to be the deepest.
So my tattoos have been very instinctive. Like
Yeah.
like you were saying with your work,
Yeah.
it's in your brain and
Yes.
it just kind of pops out and you just know.
Uh-huh.
You just know.
You know what you want, or you know, like, okay, I need to get one like this week.
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think I first got a tattoo because I struggle with the concept of perception and like being perfect, right? So for me,
Pause. Have you done a piece on that?
no.
Okay,
No.
let's start planning it.
I know. I think you need to be my mentor because I need to start doing more conceptual work.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary. I think your work speaks for itself. But
Thank you.
again, you have these thoughts and these ideas that could be translated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a really good idea. I need to write that down on my notes really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
But as I was saying, like with my tattoos, it was really because I didn't want to be so perfect. And it was like a moment to say, okay, I don't have to be so perfect.
Right.
Right.
And that's,
That's cool.
yeah.
Now, like, do you go into the parlor and like look through the book of designs, or do you have a design in mind?
No, so my first tattoo that I got was this one. And it's a dancer.
Okay. Yeah.
And it says, I love you, Grandma, which is my grandmother's signature. It was from my last birthday card that I got from her
Wow.
before she passed away.
Wow.
And I got it because she is the whole reason why I dance.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I got that one. It was to honor her. And she, funny story, she hated tattoos.
Yeah.
And that's probably where that concept of perfection came from.
Yep.
Right.
So it's kind of like ironic, but
Yeah, it's pretty freaking beautiful though.
thank you.
That there's that juxtaposition of like, I'm doing this for her, even though she might not have loved it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But
That's
because
another piece.
it's for me
There's
to
another
remember.
piece. Look,
That's
he's
another
got all these
piece.
pieces for you.
There you go.
Perfect.
We'll
Yeah.
call it. Let's think. What's the title?
Oh, you guys will be better at this than me. You got a better vocabulary as well, so
Yeah,
we'll find it.
we'll find it. We'll find it. Yeah.
Any other news? Or is there anything like coming up that you'd like to talk about? Or
No, I'm not a newsy person. Let's live day by day. Let's live in the moment. Let's create. Let's share.
cool.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the news is let's life. Let's life.
Let's life. I like that. Let's
Let's
life.
life. Yeah.
We'll end it there.
Let's life.
Cool.
Let's life.
Thank
Beauty.
you. That's it for this episode of the We're Not Friends podcast.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Make sure to follow the show and leave us a review. Share it and tag us.
We'll catch you next time with another episode full of stories, honesty, and laughs. And no,
We're still not friends.